need a period of calm, a period of certainty, and a period for those in the tourism sector to methodically plan the measured reopening of their businesses.
Even though COVID-19 has come and really has stopped the whole world globally, I feel as though your work, your vision does not have to stop. Thomas, we are creative, so now is the time we need to get our creative juices flowing.
This is my life. This is what I love, and I definitely wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Measures as the country is set to resume inter-island commercial travel. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Businesses across the country moving to a new level on most islands, with the exception of New Providence. The added measures for Grand Bahama and the other family islands will allow business establishments, including restaurants and store operations, to expand their offerings to the public. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, made the announcement while in Grand Bahama yesterday.
Retailers will be able to offer in-store service. Restaurants will be able to offer indoor dining services, provided they follow the physical distancing, mask wearing, and sanitization protocols in the order. Fish fry establishments will continue with takeaway and curbside services only. The changes announced today mean that businesses that had not been permitted to open or that were opened with restrictions may now operate following the public health measures. They may determine their operating hours operating from 5 a.m. until 10 p.m. and this is except for New Providence. Let me again note that the risk of spreading COVID-19 is higher with regard to indoor activities and lower in regard to outdoor activities. And this is why we have continued to make certain distinctions in terms of outdoor and indoor activities. In keeping with these distinctions, I note that residents on all islands in the second schedule, except for New Providence, may have small social gatherings of up to a maximum of 10 people.
The new measures also give the green light to expanded inter-island travel set to take effect in the coming hours.
Charters are now allowed, including inter-island charters, provided that individuals comply with the inter-island travel orders. Inter-island commercial air travel may resume as normal as of this Wednesday, the 9th of September. COVID-19 test results are no longer required for inter-island travel, except for those traveling from New Providence. However, individuals traveling from islands included in the second schedule, including Grand Bahama, will continue to be required to quarantine for 14 days upon arrival at their destination.
Tourism officials eyeing the middle of October to fully reopen the country's borders for domestic and international travel, but that will come with some health safety protocols. Tourism and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, is imploring Bahamians to help welcome visitors back to our shores. Here's Altavis Munnings.
The numbers show the real deal. The Bahamas has seen a significant fall-off in visitor arrivals during the first 6 months of 2020. From a record 3.9 million arrivals in 2019 to only 1.7 million this year. According to Tourism and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, this 56% reduction in our tourism business could not be avoided. The common denominators, the shutdown of both the cruise and airline industries in late March, alongside a recent resurgence of COVID-19 in many of our key markets like Florida, Texas, California, and Georgia. But tourism officials are giving reopening the borders another try. They've targeted October 15th as the date to reopen hotels on all islands to resume full operations and the full use of the beach, which is described as a critical component of our tourism product and the number one reason why persons come on vacation to the Bahamas.
This will allow our land-based tourism industry enough time to slowly ramp up to benefit from the traditional Thanksgiving travel period leading into the Christmas and New Year season. We cannot afford to open and then close right back down again. That was too traumatic for the tourism sector and significantly impacted our relationship with our travel partners. We need a period of calm, a period of certainty, and a period for those in the tourism sector to methodically plan the measured reopening of their businesses. Of utmost importance will be adherence to health and safety protocols for our communities so that we stand a much better chance of a successful recovery and an eventual return to full employment in our industry.
And reopening means an interest in international visitors coming here by air or sea. Apparently, that's not been a problem, as international air carriers are already eager to return to the Bahamas.
Back to the Bahamas. JetBlue is already coming. Air Canada is already coming. American Airlines starts this week, and Delta and Southwest are poised to restart in early October, once they learn that the tourism sector is back up and running. Understand that the schedules are extremely limited, given that current demand levels are not as robust as they once were. With regard to Bahamas Air and other domestic carriers, it is expected that they will be allowed to commence domestic operations in the latter part of this week, while international operations should recommence closer to the date when the tourism sector reopens.
Minister Diagler confirmed that he's met with the CEOs of Atlantis and Bahama Resorts, and he anticipates they will announce their reopening date soon. He said, though, resort officials want to be assured of an economically sustainable customer base when they reopen. Now, the cruise industry is another issue.
I've been in discussions with all of the major cruise lines, and none of them have received any indication from the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, when their no-sail orders will be lifted. Right now, all of the cruise companies have voluntarily agreed that they will not be sailing until the 31st of October 2020. But sadly, it seems very likely that cruising out of the United States will not recommence until possibly late November or early December. Travelers will want to start on short cruises, not venture far from home. And there is no country better positioned than the Bahamas to fulfill this demand. Cruising will probably start out with quick stops to the respective private islands. But the Ministry of Tourism will be shortly thereafter urging the cruise companies to make stops in our economic centers like Nassau and Freeport. And upon arrival, the cruise companies will only allow their guests to go on excursions to demonstrate very high health and safety protocols. So businesses, get ready and start preparing yourself for that eventuality.
The Ministry of Tourism is mounting an aggressive marketing campaign in order for visitors to understand the requirements needed to vacation in the Bahamas in a COVID-19 environment. Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Bahamas Air's domestic flight schedule resumes this Thursday, September 10th. Bahamas Air officials remind passengers leaving New Providence that they must possess a negative RT-PCR test taken within 5 days of the date expected to travel and prepare to quarantine for 14 days on arrival to their destination. Customers are reminded that tickets can still be used for future travel and fees will be waived until May 31st. Meantime, as the borders prepare to reopen, new COVID cases appear to be on the downtrend. The latest dashboard reflecting an additional 39 cases. 38 of them are right here in New Providence. The remaining one is in Abaco. The new cases putting the overall count to 2,585. The latest COVID-19 victim is an 81-year-old male of New Providence who died on August 14th, pushing the number of deaths to 59. Meantime, Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. DeLon Brennan discussing concerns raised over testing and the timely return of results from the Family Islands. Here's Lloyd Allen.
We have a gene expert machine on island in Grand Bahama that is being installed. The only delay was making sure that we had the appropriate testing facility to do it. So the machine is there, the cartridge is there to do the testing. And so very soon, we expect within the next week, that Grand Bahama will have its own on-island testing facility that is safe for, that is felt to be safe for the technicians themselves to be able to run, because that was a big part of their concern, but also it will help with speeding up the turnaround time on testing on that island.
Now, Dr. Brennan, back in July, there were issues of fraud among travelers who tampered with documents to change their COVID status. What backups can you tell us are now in place to reduce this kind of activity?
So one of the things that we have our team doing is actually, following up with the labs themselves to ensure that testing had been done on individuals, and then we have, as a backup and safety measure, even if persons were to travel and they had an issue with, whether it was a fraudulent test, our requirements now are not just that they can come into country on that test, but every traveler that returns to country also now has to quarantine for 14 days, which is really the protective measure that you want. And then upon completion of their 14 days, the law requires that they test at the end to ensure that they are not infected and not spreading it and not able to infect anyone else.
And also, in a scenario, once a person tests positive, when does their result actually reflect on the dashboard?
So now that we have cleared the concerned backlog that was within our laboratory testing systems, most of our testing actually is able to be reflected on the dashboard within 24 to 48 hours. So that's the turnaround time that we're experiencing now that we have testing facilities at the National Reference Lab, at Princess Margaret Hospital, where we have 2 machines. We also, in the private sector, have multiple places that have the testing facilities available. Everyone knows Doctors Hospital has been participating with us for a very long time, but there are other private sector facilities that now have PCR-based testing in place as well. So the overwhelming majority of persons are able to receive results and then reflect on the dashboard within 24 to 48 hours.
Reporting for the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, the nation's leader got a tour of Grand Bahamas' premier healthcare facility and the international airport. Grand Bahamas' COVID-19 unit will be online in a matter of days. During the tour, Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, provided an update on those facilities. Here's Ramiko Knowles.
The Rand Memorial Hospital is practically a new building. This, according to the Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Senator the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, who notes that it was completely destroyed by Hurricane Dorian. But to date, there has been very good progress.
We saw the new COVID unit. The new COVID unit is completed. We only need to actually move patients in. And so we're very pleased about that. There's going to be an additional 7 beds that COVID unit is going to accommodate. We saw some of the other areas that have made some significant progress. We are advised that by the end of this month, we hopefully should be in a position to actually start moving in. The pharmacy is just about completed. The wards have made some very good progress. The operating theater, again, has been completed. And so we're seeing some very good progress with respect to the hospital.
Minister Thompson says that while the government is moving ahead with plans for a new hospital, when you consider the work that has been done to the Rand Memorial Hospital, it really is a new healthcare facility. Now, concerns have also been expressed about the clinics in 8 Mile Rock, West End, and Hawksbill. Thompson says upgrades are expected to be made at those facilities to alleviate demands placed on the Rand.
There is going to be an upgrade and actually a new build with respect to the High Rock Clinic. That work is going to start shortly. The West End Clinic, really, which was not that damaged as a result of the storm, will continue to be there to supplement. One thing we do have is the COVID unit at the Cancer Association, and we are going to continue with the operation of the Cancer Association. When that new COVID unit now is open, you're going to alleviate some of the pressure from the Cancer Association, but also once the brand new wards are open, you will also alleviate the pressure from the Cancer Association, and we're going to continue to use that. And so that's going to assist us island-wide when it comes to availability of beds and when it comes to availability of care.
Government officials also touring the island's international airport and were briefed on the work currently underway at the temporary facility that will be in place until a complete assessment is done. Until such time, Thompson says there will be an expansion of the existing facility.
What we saw today really is going to be a new entrance for international. So you saw a new entrance for the customs. You saw a new entrance for immigration. We also saw an additional space for passengers to be seated. That's probably about additional 200 seats are going to be inside that area. We're going to expand the number of airlines that are going to be able to be accommodated in here. It's going to be some additional space in this existing building, but now we're going to have an additional 2 buildings which will house new seating, and it will house immigration to make their experience a little bit better, and new housing for customs to make their situation a little bit better. They do not have offices now in this facility, but in the new facility, they will have offices.
Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
And still to come, COVID ambassadors hitting the ground today, hoping to curb the spread of the coronavirus. That story and more when the Morning Edition comes right back.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been jonesing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check.
It's been a busy few weeks at the Road Traffic Department, and operating under the pandemic, Cleopatra Murphy provides details on the process within the COVID-19 emergency orders.
The extremely long lines and backup at the Bahamas Road Traffic Department have been much reduced this week. Controller of the department, Bradley Sands, says officials have gotten a handle of the situation after an initial rush.
A lot of persons, when they realized that the country was opening up, they flooded all the departments of road traffic here at the stadium and at Michael Road with a view of having their cars licensed as the country was about to open up. But I must say that the process, our drive-through process, to me, is going very smoothly. There are some hiccups, but everything new. With everything new, there come hiccups. But things are running very smoothly, and I believe with time, it will get better.
With the emergency powers COVID-19 orders set to expire on September 30th, residents whose license and registrations have expired still have an extension of 60 days after to ensure they are in compliance with the law. Despite this concession, Sands says about 75% of vehicle owners chose to license and register their vehicles on time.
We were open Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we had tons of persons that were licensing their vehicles. Now, a lot of persons took advantage of the emergency orders, and that's why the last 2 weeks have really been bad. But, you know, if you pay attention to our management chart, we were able to license anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 vehicles on those given dates that I mentioned earlier.
In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the department has altered the license and inspection process that Sands says starts with presenting your vehicle for inspection.
The inspectors will then take the license test, check the insurance, check the chassis number to make sure that everything is correct. Once that is done, you're given an inspection slip, and then you continue on this line on the inside. Once you get on the inside, you will produce your insurance, your license test, and your inspection certificate, your inspection slip to the runner. The runner in return will go on the inside. They'll meet with a customer service rep who will then register your vehicle. They'll register your vehicle, and the runner will then proceed back to the outside, where they'll give you the fee, the amount to license your vehicle. Once that is done, the officer then proceed on the inside and pay the cashier, and the cashier then will give you the new license test, as well as all of the accoutrement that comes along with your vehicle.
The department is now operating Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The United States government has pledged $750,000 to help health facilities in the Bahamas detect, isolate, and prevent the spread of COVID-19. The International Federation of the Red Cross, the Red Crescent Societies, and the Bahamas Red Cross Society, in partnership with the United States Agency for International Development, will administer the funds. The donation empowers the Bahamas Red Cross to purchase personal protective equipment and other critical supplies for the Public Hospitals Authority. The Red Cross will also use the funds to provide hand-washing stations to select shelters and schools on New Providence, and provide mental health and physio or psychosocial support to community members and healthcare professionals on the front lines of this pandemic. U.S. Embassy officials say the funds will continue to provide services and supplies to the Bahamas through August 2021. 66 new graduates from the Hubcat monitoring training program by the Royal Bahamas Police Force will hit the beat this morning. After completing the course on Friday, the ambassador will be assigned to various areas, including the airport, the beaches, and the general public. Now, the program monitors individuals in quarantine, ensuring they are following the established protocols. The public can expect to see the COVID-19 ambassadors around New Providence, especially at venues with large crowds. Senior year, a rite of passage, a culmination of 12 years of school, and how students come out of it determined where they head next. But how has COVID-19 reshaped things for Generation Z? Or as Time magazine suggests, that renamed Generation Pandemic.
Is everything I looked forward to experiencing in my 12th grade year is now not going to happen, or it's going to happen a lot differently than we all thought it would. I also feel a lot different about being a senior now, because I was looking forward to having all these experiences with my classmates, my friends, and my teachers for the last year that I'd be in high school, and now I'm not going to be able to share it with them.
My feelings about my senior year have changed drastically, as I'll have to experience my last birthday online and not on the school campus. Many of the senior activities that are supposed to be held during this time have either been postponed or are now being held online. I have mixed feelings about this entire experience, but I'm hopeful that in the end, I will complete my senior year face-to-face under normal circumstances.
But I still feel like a senior. It's just certain aspects of it has changed, like me going back in school physically and being able to engage with a teacher face-to-face.
Honestly, I thought 12th grade would just, be filled with hard work, but also fun. I felt like the fun has been now taken out of the equation. Like, I've never been grounded before, but I imagine this is what being grounded would feel like. I'm so excited to be a senior. It's just now I have to just kind of like re-examine like my expectations of what I expect for this year.
Teachers and faculty at Summit Academy on East Bay Street say they are looking forward to the upcoming academic school year. Principal Julian Wilson telling ZNS News recently that the school's enrollment numbers, which stand at 160, didn't suffer despite the threat of COVID-19. Additionally, Wilson says while the number of COVID-19 cases across this country continues to soar, members of the executive management team is doing all they can to ensure that the necessary health precautions are in place.
We have taken all measures possible. We are installing plexiglass. We have a minimum of 3 feet between each desk. We are going to place kids in pods. We will have teachers doing a rotation versus the students moving from class to class. And we will offer, even within the school environment, an option for blended learning. So we really wanted to position the school to accept all students if that was if that is the choice of the parents. So at the moment, we have made changes so that if every child wanted to come back to campus in the fall, that we would be able to accommodate them. So on the business side, unfortunately, it means that we, particularly in some of our preschool classes, we really had to limit enrollment this year.
As the school continues to take a page out of the advisory books of school leaders around the world and guidelines from the health officials and the CDC, Wilson says she is hoping that the new school year is a productive one for students near and far.
When our students return to school, the first thing that we're going to do is to give every student in the school a diagnostic test, and we have purchased many programs that will target any areas of or any deficiencies that may have developed as a result of COVID. I must say that Summit, I think, did an excellent job with the transition to online learning, and I am hopeful that the gaps were or are minimal at this point. But Summit is a small school. We are the smaller, smarter school. And so even if we were not in a COVID-19 environment, our classes are intentionally kept small. And so I was just saying to the teachers yesterday in a faculty meeting that I think this is really going to be a year that parents will truly appreciate all that a small school can offer.
The coronavirus has moved students out of the four walls of the classroom and put them in a virtual learning space. Catherine Gomez shares tips on how students can effectively adjust to virtual learning.
Globally, 1.2 billion students are out of the classroom, which means institutions are doing school online. As doing school from home can be demotivating and distracting, here's 5 tips to help students excel at online learning. Tip number 1, create a schedule for the day. Creating a schedule can help students to achieve tasks and to allot their time wisely. It also helps their day to feel structured and puts them in a routine. Tip number 2, use a planner to write down important notes. When students are doing school online, it can be easy to lose track of assignments. Using a planner helps students stay organized because they can write down all their homework and important notes in their planner. Tip number 3, find a workplace in your house. Finding a workplace in your home that is conducive to learning is critical when doing school online. This not only limits distractions, but a good workplace can boost productivity. Tip number 4, set a timer for each class. The sound of the school bell usually alerts students when it's time for class. Setting alarms on your phone at class times has the same effect and reminds you when you have a class. Though COVID-19 has changed education in our world, it's important for students to continue to soar amongst the odds. Catherine Gomez, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Catherine. And still to come, managing the expanded number of criminal cases across this country. We've got the details when the morning edition continues.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Welcome back. It's time now to check your daily morning traffic commute. Lloyd Allen and the morning team is standing by on DeVoe and Market Streets.
Well, good morning, LaDon. Good morning, Bahamas. This is your first look at traffic, and this one coming in from the area of DeVoe Street and Market Street. It's already a busy morning this morning with cars traversing along the thoroughfare, making their way to their various destinations. But this morning, we're speaking with a resident of this area who was speaking about a challenge happening right here at this intersection. Good morning. Welcome to the morning edition.
Good morning.
So give us your name and tell us about the challenge that motorists have been having and residents have been having here.
My name is Christine. From the road change, there has been plenty of accident on the corner, even to a point where someone was killed. And as a resident, we have small kids there, and it's very concerning because they catch the bus to go to school.
Now, I also know that a few years ago, there was an incident where a bicyclist was hit on this intersection, correct?
Yes, it was.
He was also a resident?
Yes, of Lemon Street.
And so for that reason, of course, residents remain concerned and hoping that some resolve happens. Now, of course, again, we've spoken with the resident, and at this time, we're speaking with Inspector Jerron Thompson from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, who's first going to give us a look at overnight traffic, but also address this issue of drivers coming out of this no entry road here. Good morning, Inspector Thompson.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas. Over the past 24-hour period, we had a total of 6 accidents. Nothing major. We had a very quiet night.
Okay, and so of course, again, we're talking about this intersection here. This is now DeVoe Street that comes off of East Street that leads here onto Market Street, but also connects with Fleming Street that comes off of Blue Hill Road. What do motorists need to know?
Okay, motorists need to know as you approach the final roundabout, if you're traveling west on DeVoe Street, you're not supposed to enter Market Street. If you were to do so, you would be ticketed for driving in the wrong direction on a one-way street. I have to speak to Chief Superintendent Claire at the Ministry of Works to get some more clarity on that. I know we have been in this area ticketing persons for committing that offense, but I have to get some more clarity on that for us to continue ticketing persons.
Now, I know at this time, of course, there is a fixed penalty attached to entering onto Market Street off of DeVoe Street. Talk to us about what that charge is.
Well, like I said, once you would have passed the sign from the speed bump, the final speed bump, you're considered to be driving in the wrong direction on a one-way street. So that fine is $100. And like I said, we have been issuing many tickets in that regard to motorists who would disobey that sign.
Now, of course, that advice, Claren, goes out to all motorists. If you do happen to be traveling west along DeVoe Street, be mindful that it does not enter onto Market Street. You can be ticketed for up to about $100. So if you can avoid this area of making that turn, we advise you to do so with caution and with care. But of course, reporting your morning traffic edition from this intersection, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, Charles Fisher joins us live this morning to tell us more about the role the women play in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Welcome again, Fisher.
Well,
so good to see you.
welcome back after your one day off. You're looking pretty nice and well rested. Yes, I'm doing a story on women on the police force, and we're highlighting women who are doing a good job like yourself here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas and making sure that people know what they are doing. And you know, our old good friend Shanta Knowles, I must say, Chief Superintendent Shanta Knowles, we started off with her yesterday. She talked about missing persons and cold cases. Well, today we're going to dwell more into her personal life. You know, she's from your island, Eleuthera, so she's going to tell us all about that this morning. Looking at the pictures on the wall, all men who have led the Criminal Investigation Department. Soon her picture will be up there. Chief Superintendent Shanta Knowles is the first female to head the department. She has come a long way since joining the force in October of 1990.
And when I was in high school, I knew that there were some people from my community, both communities, Wims's Bight and Roxanne, who were already members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I saw the work that they were doing and I was impressed. I remember Allardyce Strawn visiting Roxanne some time back, and at one occasion she came to visit my mummy. And just to listen to her talk about her experience, that sent a light bulb that maybe this is what you would want to do. The thought was at first that I wanted to be a teacher. Of course, that didn't work out, especially after having listened to Allardyce talk. And then, of course, Maxine Leary, who is my senior and who is also a police officer today, she was one of them who I said, if Maxine can do it, then Shanta can do it also. But I had two uncles who were also police officers, and on summer breaks, they always talk about their experience.
And coming from a peaceful island like Eleuthera, it was a big step.
My mother was a little bit afraid at first, but she did not hold me back. She encouraged me to this was what I wanted to do, and she encouraged me to go for it. And being a teacher that she is, and I guess it's in her to encourage her students, even her children, to follow their dreams no matter what they are. My mother is my biggest fan. Whenever there is anything, even whatever accomplishments I'm having at that moment, she cheers me on. Even a simple television interview, I'm sure she has everyone in Rock Sound or everyone in South Eleuthera preparing to watch the news so that they can see Shanta on the news.
She has made her rounds in those 29 years.
Once I was completed with my training, I went to work at the Southern Police Station on Market Street, and I stayed there for roughly a year and a half before transferring into the Criminal Investigation Department in 1993. So I've been here in CID for 25 years. I have worked in every section of this department, every section. And in 2003, I had the good fortune of going to Exuma to work in the Exuma Detective Unit, spending 5 years on that island, forming relationships with the people in the community, being a community leader. I loved those 5 years on Exuma, and I wouldn't trade Family Island policing for nothing in the world.
She has become known as the lady who is always on crime scenes, giving the media and public updates.
It was intimidating at first because it was not something I'd been used to. While working in CID, we had the opportunity to go out and speak to the public, make presentations at business places, at schools. Even here in our own setting, we had to present our cases to our peers and be questioned on it. So that is the ground, that was the training ground that led up to me becoming press officer in 2017. I didn't apply for the position. I was instructed to take over that position by then Commissioner Ferguson. Of course, there were growing pains, and with good guidance, I grew into the position. I formed friendships, relationships with persons in the media, and even more people in the community.
But her greatest joy came last year when she was chosen to command the parade for the official demitting of office for Lady Marguerite Pinling.
I was given just a few days to learn the commands for that parade and also how to hold the sword. That was the first time holding the sword. It was not a challenge. It was very easy, and the officer who guided me through the process, Mr. Curtis, he took a pleasure in teaching me right there in his office how to hold the sword and how to salute with the sword. What was even more exciting for me was that I got to command the feu de joie. So instead of the officers firing their weapons that day, when I gave the command, the 21 cannon salute went off. So we had to listen for the 21 cannons to be completed for me to complete the salute, give her final salute so that she can leave the office. And that was an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything in the world.
Getting into office from as early as 7:30 in the morning and leading the department where every major crime is investigated is time-consuming.
I do get to rest when I'm home. Apart from my civic organization, I make sure I find time to rest, and I have a strong family base. While I'm only the mother of one, my sisters, my family really step in when there's a need for them to, for me. So I do get some time to rest. It's not much, but this is my life. This is what I love, and I definitely wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
Now tomorrow we'll go up north to Grand Bahama and we'll look at one of the top ranking females over there as well. And LaDawn, you and Shanta has so much in common. You're both from Eleuthera and both your moms are your favorite fans, because I know in Abu Raleigh right now they get that big 30, 40, 50-inch TV just watching you on the morning edition.
Yes, yes. And so what's coming up tomorrow? Tell us a little bit more about your story tomorrow.
Chief Superintendent Taylor, she is second in command over there in Grand Bahama. She was born here in New Providence, but she moved over there to Grand Bahama. Very interesting how she got started, the department she's been in. It's going to be another interesting story. We continue to highlight these ladies of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And we'd also like to let the public out there, if you have anybody there that you want to highlight, make sure to call us here at ZNS. We'll be delighted to do the story.
Thank you so much, Fisher. Some great stories. Thank you so much. And we'll hear more from the pandemic, about the pandemic that has sparked the talents of a local teacher in a unique way. So keep it locked.
Buddy, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, I on television.
I don't have a TV in there.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check? Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed some individuals to pursue their lifelong dreams, but for artist Jessica Miller, the pandemic has taught her a valuable lesson. Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
For primary school art teacher Jessica Miller, the COVID-19 pandemic has pushed her to pursue something she has always loved but never truly made time for, her art. With some free time on her hands, Miller began pouring her heart and soul into painting and launched her portrait business, Art and Soul. She says the pandemic pushed her into pursuing a dream she had given up on.
I was always intrigued with faces, I remember growing up as a little girl at the age of 7, just coming home after school and just drawing the faces that I see. And even as time progressed, I continued to just really focus on faces. But college led me into different areas, of course, like figure drawing, ceramics, and all that comes with art. But I continued to focus basically on faces.
While she had put her creativity to use as an art educator, Miller says the pandemic, with the push of others, helped her to delve into portraits that she attempts to make as realistic as possible.
Some of my friends, some of my colleagues, they're like, why don't you start posting? Why don't you start advertising? You know, you're just hiding all of this, you know, and that really spurred me to just begin advertising. And once I started, I didn't stop. It's almost like I couldn't stop.
Miller, who showcased some of the work she has done years ago in college, says she has gotten positive reception and steady commissions, with some coming from family and church members that have encouraged her.
That God is my foundation, and my belief in Him, my belief system, has really caused me to push forward and to keep going. And I see this being a very prosperous thing, with or without COVID.
The artist, who paints her creations on canvases of various sizes, says her price starts at $100, but she works with her clients' budgets. She also had this advice for others with a dream yet to be pursued.
My encouragement to other persons is really not to give up on yourself, not to give up on your dreams. Because even though COVID-19 has come and really has stopped the whole world globally, I feel as though your work, your vision does not have to stop. Thomas, we are creative. So now is the time really to get our creative juices flowing. You know, don't give up on yourself. Don't let money be a factor. Start with what you have, you know, and that the little that you plant will grow into much.
Persons interested can see her work on Facebook at JessieMiller03 at hotmail.com. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
And it's time now for your Tuesday workout session with Downtown Natasha Brown.
Come on down, Natasha Brown has got you with the ultimate fitness.
If you want to make progress, according to Jerry Seinfeld, you'll need to trade intensity for consistency. Thank you for joining Downtown for another awesome segment. And I've got the most amazing outdoor workout for you. Follow all of the exercises that you see that I'm doing. If the intensity is not too much for you, you can always raise it up. And if it's too much, you can always lower the reps. So we're looking at doing anywhere between 15 to 20 reps, or you want to definitely do 3 to 4 sets of everything. Let's get right to it. time. I am downtown Natasha Brown, taking you closer to becoming your ultimate you.
We, the body of the Bahamas Association of Medical Technologists, or BAMAT, offer this pronouncement because our celebratory activities were suspended. We wish to say thank you to all essential healthcare workers, police and defense force officers, and to encourage the youth of this nation to seek out fields in the medical laboratory profession. And to let you know that this is a viable option for a successful and rewarding career. Scholarships are available through the Ministries of Health and Education to help you reach your goals. This announcement is brought to you by the Bahamas Association of Medical Technologists in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys waited today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been queuing for some grouper tread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Self-isolation means taking simple steps to avoid close contact with other people as much as possible, as you would with the seasonal flu. If you've been in close contact with somebody confirmed with COVID-19 or suspect that you have it, self-isolate for 14 days. You can self-isolate by staying indoors and away from family for 14 days. Choose a well-ventilated room with a closed door. Household members should stay in a different room, or if that is not possible, maintain a distance of at least 3 feet. Use a sealed waste basket and double bag your waste before disposal. Limit movement in your house. Stay in your assigned space away from the rest of the household. The caretaker will bring food and anything else you need. Use separate cookery and cutlery. Use a separate bathroom and clean it regularly. Use separate towels, separate cleaning linens, and clothing. If you are in need of care by household members, limit the number of caregivers. Assign one person who is in good health and has minimum risk conditions. Most importantly, remember, do not invite others over. Should you or anyone you know feel that you've been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the COVID-19 hotline at the Ministry of Health immediately. To reach us, call 376-9350, 376-9387, 300-2619, or our 24-hour hotline at 502-7382. For more information, visit covid19.gov.bs.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and this television station.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the Bank of Solutions.
Continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And that's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great day, everyone.
Something just ain't right here. Why you acting so uptight? Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. She gone out to a party last night. She come back with a big kick it twice. She said